All right, looks like I am live here. Gonna wait a couple of minutes, let a few others come in. If you do show up and you are here, I believe the chat should be working, so say hello in the chat so I know you're here. And as always, doing this in the morning, so this is for you. Just waiting. I know a couple of guys that wanted to come on for this morning, so we'll wait and then we'll see. We'll check all our levels, and let me check my camera angles here. What do we have? We have HX edit. We have the Helix on the floor. We have the Synergy Syn-1. And then we have everything together. And you're going to see me looking to the, if you haven't watched me before, you're going to see me looking this way a lot of the time because I have my big monitor over here next to me. So we shall wait and we'll see if anybody pops on. If nobody shows up, nobody's ever going to see this. I'm going to type into the chat right now. I want to make sure that's working. So if you're here, say hello. Let me know you're here. Let me know everything's working. The only thing about me typing is I have hotkeys selected here. So when I type, I might hit a hotkey and it might change my camera angle unintentionally. We've got a couple of guys, a couple of people, I should say, hopping on right now. So let's wait a couple more minutes. Again, if you're here, if you show up, say hello in the chat so I know you're here and I can get started with this. I'm going to wait probably another minute, and then whether people are here or not, I'm going to get started. It's allergy season. My allergies are really kicking in. So if I sound like Kermit the Frog, you know why. All right, once I hit the 3-minute mark, I'll get started. Right just about. All right, so let's get this thing started. If you are here, great. Say hello in the chat. Let me just adjust this first. If you see this later on, if it's still up, then welcome. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get alerted to whenever I do these live streams, and also when I upload a new video. Also, you guys that use the Helix, I have a new video going up this afternoon. Basic video. I noticed a few questions about changing the colors on the foot switches on the Helix, so I just threw a video together this morning. Kenneth Kirkland, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for coming in. I'm going to get started now. So I did this on the Facebook Helix Facebook. Still early here. Helix Facebook group. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't remember. The days are all the same. It's like Groundhog Day. The days are all the same now. But I'm just kind of showing how I'm using. This is my new live rig. If we ever get back to playing live gigs again, and I'm now using. So I'll go through what we have here. I got my Helix on the floor. And I'm going to be using HX Edit to show you some stuff. And then I'm using the Synergy Syn-1 with the Friedman BBBE module in it. Now, quick story, if you haven't been following along. The last gig my band played, I used the Synergy Syn-50 head. It was great. I loved it. It has the 2 slots for 2 of those modules, so I had 4 channels. But I realized after that gig that I was sending it back to Musician's Friend because the main reason I bought it, my band is on in-ears, and it has a cab simulated out, direct out. But and this was not anywhere in their manual, online, documented anywhere. The only way you could use the cab out was to actually have a real cabinet hook up. There's no load in it. I wish they had specified that, because I could have saved a lot of time and aggravation. But it sounded great, so I went to the Syn-2, which is the rack unit, which has 2 slots. That was great, but I was having major issues with the MIDI as far as Helix controlling it with the MIDI, because certain continuous controllers, CC messages on both units had the same CC, and it was just doing stuff I didn't want it to do. And also, I think I had a faulty unit, because the MIDI on the Syn-2 wasn't working well. But so, long story short, after going through all this, I realized I don't need 4 channels. So I went with the Syn-1. Here we go. The Syn-1. I went with that. Kenny, doing great. How about yourself? Just got your Helix week 2 ago, so figure it out. Kenny, it's an awesome device, and I don't know if you've been following me. This is my 3rd one, and I'm going to be keeping this one for a while. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll be happy to answer that for you best I can. But today I'm showing you mainly how I'm going to be using this in a live setup. I'm using 4-cable method. I'm not using any amps from the Helix. I'm using all Synergy. So everything from the Helix is going to be cabinets, impulse responses, and also the effects that I'm using. So I'm going to try to get through that quickly here, and how I'm using it. And I'm also switching channels on the Synergy with the Helix. And I almost had another issue as far as switching channels goes. I didn't know the Synergy uses a TRS cable, which is a stereo cable. So when I was trying to do that with the Helix, I couldn't figure it out at first, but I ended up figuring it out. It just basically, I was having the same problem where I was trying to set either the tip or the ring, and one of them was setting the Syn to bypass mode. But then I figured it out that when I want to be on my clean channel, don't use any commands on the Helix. When I want to go to the dirty channel, then I can just use, I believe it's just a tip on that. So anybody out there that's using that, that's how it is. Now, if you can see behind me, well, actually right above my head here, that blue guitar, that's my new Charvel that just came in today. Looks like one of the strings broke in transport as it was being shipped, so I gotta restring it. But I played it for a couple of minutes. Man, that guitar feels nice. I haven't listened to it yet because I want to change that string out, but it feels great. Hopefully I'll do either a video on that guitar or one of these where I just use that guitar. So let's get started. I want to go to this screen here so you can kind of see everything at once, and you can see my signal path on the Helix. So again, it's 4-cable method. My input, I always have the gate on no matter what. I do say that on my videos. Then I go into a volume pedal, and then I have a wah. I'm using the Fossil. I'm not really going to demonstrate those two because I'm not really in the right position. You can see my foot coming in here. I'm not in the right position to be stepping down on this. Then also I have the dual pitch, which I use for the Bon Jovi stuff. You give love a bad name and never say goodbye. I'll demonstrate that. I have the phaser. I have a vibratory. I have a flanger. Then I have 2 overdrives. I have the Minotaur, which is the Klon, and I have the Kinky Boost, which I believe is the EP booster. And then it hits the front of the Synergy, of the Syn-1, and then I have my effects loop, and I go down to path 2, and I have a noise gate here too, just to get rid of any of that, that white noise you get in some effects loops. And I'm going to try it today. I haven't turned it off to see if there's any big noise on this unit, but we'll give that a shot after. And from there I have my gain block of 3.5 dB for all my solos. So on any of my snapshots on the Helix, I can hit that. I have it on one of the stomps. I can hit that, in solo on any of my snapshots. I don't need to be in on my lead snapshot. Then I have the Trinity chorus. Then I have my 2 delays. One of them is just a normal delay, you know, for all my rhythms. And then I have a longer delay that I can kick in. And in the reverb, I use the plate. And the 2 IRs I'm using today, the ML Sound Labs Friedman pack. I have a V30 with a 121 mic. And I have the Greenback 25 with a 57 on it. And kind of blend those. So, let's see. We got a question, comment. Kenny, you got to run straight to a PV Classic 50. I love that amp. I used to have one. Maybe it was a 30 that I have. Very underrated amp. It has no effects loop, just going straight into the amp. Must need to do something different, kind of twangy. Yeah, you want to, if you're, the question is, are you using amps on the Helix, or are you using your PV Classic 50's preamp? Because if you're using amps on the Helix, you're going to want to set that PV Classic 50 as clean as possible. But if you're using the amp itself, the preamp there, then you're going to want to obviously not have an amp block in your signal path. Like you probably would have one up here. I don't know if you can see that block going up on the screen here. But yeah, you don't want to have that. So this is my clean. Welcome whoever else joined in. Say hello in the chat. This is my clean. This is the Buxom Betty from Friedman. And before I play, I can already hear it. This guitar, and I said this on the video I did the other day, this guitar needs a setup and an intonation badly. And unfortunately, my guy that does it, the shop that I bring it to, is closed because of, you know, everything that's going on. So you're going to hear this guitar out of tune. I'm going to be tuning it randomly as we go through this, but you know, I apologize ahead of time. This is not much more I can do, put it that way. Yeah, Kenny, you got the amp set to neutral. All right, well then, if you're using Helix amps in it, great. Also try, there are preamps too for the Helix. Maybe try the preamp since you're going. I always prefer the amp, doing it your way, but a lot of guys have success using the preamp block instead of the amp block. The preamp is just going to give you the front end of the Helix amps rather than the preamp plus the power amp. So try that. So again, here is the Buxom Betty. And also, please, if you can, guys, in the chat, let me know if the video's okay, if you know, if it's getting blurry or anything, and also let me know how the levels are. You're gonna be hearing that because I'm not gonna keep turning off the mic that I'm speaking through to just hear the guitars. It's just too much of a pain. Now, I should say also that I should probably hold this because my hands are freezing right now. I took heat down a little bit in here this morning, so. All right, Kenny, take care. Hopefully you'll let me know how you made out with that. Yeah, see how this is. So if you look onto the Helix itself, I'm going to go into mode. I just have the chorus on. The reverb is always on, and I have a short delay on, so you can hear that. So that's my clean. Now, if I want to add any of this other stuff in, so if I want to add a longer delay, or actually not really a longer delay, but a louder delay. You can do that rotary. Can add a flanger. EP booster, probably not going to sound great. Shut the chorus off. I can add a phaser. Clon. Now, normally I would not be adding all that. My clean is usually just my clean. Very rarely will I add any of those other effects in there. That's mainly for the my rhythm stuff. I need another drink because I am cold. But if you're just hopping on, please say hello in the chat. Let me know you're here. Any questions, comments, concerns? Let me know how the audio is and all that good stuff. And we're going to move on. I'm trying to do this quickly. So now as you see on the Syn, it's on, the blue light's on, so that means it's on the bottom channel, which is the Buxom Betty. Now if I go and switch to my rhythm, you'll see it switch. I'm doing that right from the Helix. So I'm going to go back to the clean and then to the rhythm. So we'll go from there. Let's see. So now this is the BE channel of the Friedman BE 100. What's up, Pap? Just saw you pop on. Thanks for coming in. So I'm just kind of going through my 4-cable method with the Helix and the Synergy Syn-1 with the Friedman BBBE module. Sorry for you guys that are still here. I keep saying that, but I want to make sure the new people that are coming in kind of know what the hell I'm doing here, besides making noise and freezing right now. So yeah, so that's the BE. So if I switch, let's go to the Helix. If I switch into my stomp mode, as you can see, you probably can't see it. I have such a hard time with the lighting trying to get these lights to cooperate on the board. But so from here, I can access any of this stuff. So let's go through it. So the POG. Now I called it the POG. That's what I named it because it's modeled. What I did was model it after the EHX POG, which I just sold one recently. And this is close enough to me. This is for, you know, if I want to do you know, You Give Love a Bad Name, or I apologize, guys. My hands are freezing. So we'll not play that one. That's the basic tone. Back to that. So I will normally not add the chorus, which is what you're hearing, unless I want to play. Let's see. Not only are my hands freezing, but my brain is frozen too. So long delay on this. So that's the long delay. EP booster, so here's without, with it on. Usually, if you look on the HX Edit, the EP booster, I normally, let me turn it back on. I always keep I just like to give it a little push. I keep the drive all the way down. I put the boost on and the bright switch on just to give it a little bit more sizzle. So that's EP booster. Then we got the clon. Here's without. With. What else we got here? The phaser. I always play that. I don't know why. Pretty much every video that I do. The flanger. I'm not in drop D, but I will attempt to play. And as I said earlier, I have the gain block, which will give me a 3 dB boost. Off. That's really handy if you don't want the sound guy to be usually falling asleep, unless you have a really good one like we do. But that's good to get your solos up. I always include that in most of my presets. Man, I am cold. A couple more people popping on. Say hello in the chat, please. All right, so let's get out of this, and we'll go to the HBE. Now, this really isn't the HBE because I actually have an HBE module here, the Synergy. I'm going to be selling this, so any of you guys that have the Synergy system and wanted to try this out, I'll have it up on Reverb. The only reason I'm selling it is because I only have obviously the Syn-1 now, the one slot, and I find that I can get close to the HBE, pretty close. I mean, it's not exact. I can get close to the HBE using the BE channel with an overdrive or two. So I want to sell that one and get the Bogner Ecstasy and try that one out. What do we have? It's taking you all these years how to play guitar, and now you got to learn how to be an audio engineer. Yeah, no kidding. Audio, video. I actually have a degree in multimedia that I don't really use anymore, but it gave me a head start, as you know, all this stuff that I'm doing here. It's not rocket science, but if you have a little bit of a background, it helps. And I'm still trying to figure out a few things, but I think from where I started my channel a year or two ago, it's really come a long way. And the more I'm into this studio and figuring things out in here, the happier I am, and the better I think the quality of my videos are getting better. Reminder too, I said this earlier, you guys with the Helix, I have a video coming out around 2 p.m. I believe it's Eastern Standard Time today. Just a simple kind of tutorial on changing the colors on the Helix foot switches, both the stomps and the snapshots, and doing it via the editor and also right on the unit itself. There's probably other videos out there showing that, but I saw that question asked a few times online in the last couple of days, so I was like, I might as well just do a video. We got another person. Who's that? Rocamp 56. I hope I'm saying that right. Sounds great. Thank you. Are you planning to go into a cab or for strictly direct to a PA board? Very good question. Hats off to you. My band is all on in-ears. So if we ever get back to playing gigs, we had been, we were running a lot of stuff direct. There was the only time we ever had actual cabinets on stage were shows where it was like a quick changeover and we couldn't use our in-ears. But probably 95% of the time we're using the in-ears, and I'll just be running direct right out of the Synergy. Right there, right out of that, and right to we have the whole setup on stage with us, so everything on stage runs, all the instruments on stage, vocals, everything runs straight into our unit or our mixer, and then we send that out to front of house. So we control all our own stuff on stage, and so if I do need to run through a cabinet, whether it's a backline or my Marshall that's sitting over there, I can do that. And I'll just use the Synergy as pretty much the preamp on that and still use the Helix. If I have, and I had this question yesterday, if I have to fly to a gig, the whole thought process was, if you can see back there, I had the Helix backpack, is to pop the Helix off my board. I'm not taking the whole board. Pop the Helix off, throw that in the backpack, put the Syn-1 in the front of the backpack along with my second talk box, and carry that on with 2 guitars onto a plane, and then get us my small suitcase with my clothes, cables, and my hats for the the Richie Sambora stuff, and check that. So kind of been planning this all out for the last year or two, and I'm finally kind of where I wanted to get. Just took a lot longer. What else we have? Paps, you sat back and relied on your Les Paul and JCM 800 thinking I had a great sound. That is a great sound. A lot of times I'll just plug into my Marshall that's over there with nothing else. It does have reverb built into it, but just nothing beats tubes. I don't care what anybody says. Nothing beats tubes. It's going to win to me every time, every day, every night, every week, every month, every year. But the way things are going now, and that's why I really like the Synergy stuff, is because it's still analog. This thing here is a preamp, and there are tubes inside. There's a tube inside the module, and there's at least one tube in the preamp itself. Sorry about that. But yeah, so there's tubes in there, and there's nothing digital about it. And for those that don't know, these modules here are actually made by, like, Dave Friedman kind of designed that module, and it's his plans, his designs from his actual amps. Bogner did the same thing, and who else do they have? There's a few other boutique amp builders that have modules, and they all gave their schematics, and so it's to their specifications. And I owned a BE100 for a while and sold it just because I couldn't justify carrying around a $3,500, $4,000 amp to gigs. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I know the sound. It's one of my favorite guitar tones of all time, the BE100. So when I got my hands on this and actually played it, I was like, this is pretty damn close. So that's where I am now. So let's move along. Like I said, I have it labeled on the snapshot as HBE. It's really just the BE channel on that, and I call it HB because I have, let's see, we have the Klon or the Minotaur and the Kinky Boost, or just the Minotaur's on for this. So it's going to give a little bit more hair to, which is why it's called the Hairy Brown Eye. Man, my hands are freezing. You know when your hands get so cold? Like, you ever play an outdoor gig? Play an outdoor gig in the cold and it's like 50 degrees out and your fingers just don't want to do anything? That's what I'm feeling right now. It's about 60 in here, but it feels a lot colder than that. What's weird is, like, I'm not cold, but my hands are freezing. What else we got here? And yes, the guitar keeps going out of tune if you're just hopping on this guitar. Unfortunately, my guitar guy shop is closed. I don't really have to tell you the reason. So this thing needs an intonation and setup bad, and can't do it. Actually, all these guitars do. So I'm kind of out of luck with keeping damn guitars in tune. Thanks, man. Great setup, you said. Thank you. It took me a long time to get here. And I was really hoping to be playing that new Charvel back there, the blue one. It still got the tag on it, too. It just got it in today. But like I said, it had a broken string upon arrival. So it's probably going to need an intonation, too, just like the other guitars. Yeah, this is way out. Let me try the Helix has a great tuner, but even a great tuner is not helping these guitars right now. What else we got on there? Any other questions on there? I'll get to the lead channel or snapshot in a second. So just to give you an idea, the lead is the same thing as the snapshot I'm on now, the HBE. I call it the HBE, but not only does it have the clon on it, it also has the kinky boost. So it's got two overdrives going just to beef it up a little bit more, and the delay goes up a little bit more so you can hear it more, because I like more delay in my soloing. And let's see what this sounds like. Alright, so the lead, like I said, the lead is both overdrives, a little bit more delay, and it's going to have that gain block on it for a 3.5 dB boost. So let's go to that. So you can hear the delay. So if I go to stomp mode, I can add, any of this other stuff. But normally when I'm soloing, the only thing I'll add in here would be the long delay. So and that's pretty much it. That's my sounds. I'm not a big effects guy. I'm not. I don't go crazy with that kind of thing. But if I need the effect, I could get by most of my gigs on just this one preset with these 4 snapshots and having access to all those stomps. If I need something else, like some kind of special effect, I'll duplicate this preset and add in, I'll add in whatever effect that is. So like a song like Always by Bon Jovi, I play in a Bon Jovi tribute band in case you are new to the channel and you don't know that. So Richie uses kind of a vibe rotary, so I'll just... And a lot of times, you know, even if I put on the EP booster, I'll either leave it there, or I might even do it on the BE channel and just use my volume knob. So it has that kind of Beatles vibe to it. Richard Poole, what's going on, man? I like the emoji with the face mask there. Road Camp, what IR are you like using? Yeah, so you must have came in later. Let's see. Let me get back to go to the HX edit screen. So if you can see, I've really been digging the ML Sound Labs, the Friedman pack. And if you've ever seen a Friedman cab playthrough, the 412, he puts greenback 25s and also V30s in it. He blends it. So that's what I try to do here. So I have the ML Friedman, Freeman he calls it, V30 with the 121, and the greenback 25 with a 57. And I'll bring on the, especially on the greenback, I'll bring the high cut down to about halfway, put the low cut up a little bit. And then on the V30, I'll bring the high cut down just not as much, and I'll bring the low cut up a little bit more as far as that goes. But I've really been digging that stuff, and I want to get more of his stuff. He's got a really, if you've never checked it out, ML Sound Lab, it's the Miko. I think it's pronounced Miko. He's got a plug-in, basically, or a standalone program that you can take his IRs. He's got like this big essential pack where there's, I don't know, there's tons of IRs in there from different cabinets and speakers and microphones, and you can actually kind of blend your own in there, where you can move it's all pretty. The graphics are great because you can see the speaker, you can see the mic you're using, you can kind of move the mic further away, put it closer, move it over to the right, to the left, closer to the cone. Then once you like that, you can actually export it out as your own IR. So check those out. Pap Smear, what's my honest opinion on the Sambora signature guitar? That depends on which signature guitar you're asking about. If you're asking about the one back here, the ESP SA2, there's a difference. The one he actually played and the one they sold are different. That's not a very expensive guitar. I actually bought it off a friend of mine. He had already swapped. The pickups weren't great in it, so he swapped out the bridge with a Seymour Duncan Pearly Gate, so it sounds a lot better now. When that guitar is set up right, it's a great sounding guitar. Ritchie's has, you know, obviously better parts and, you know, all that other stuff in it, better neck and probably better body. But if you're talking about his Fender Strats, the custom Sambora Fender Strats, those things are amazing. I've played one in my life. I've never owned one because they're just way too much money. But it was a great guitar. Yeah, so that's how I feel about the Fenders. Let me shut that rotary off. I don't know the solo to that, but I used to. That's a great tune, even though the guy sings kind of funny. Bobby, what's up? Bobby always makes it. Cheers. And I didn't even notice we have a few more people on here. So everybody be like Bobby and Real Camp and Pap. And Richard, and who else is on there? Oh, Kenny already left. Be like them and say hello, please. I just got this in too, the fret wrap. I'm gonna try it. It's supposed to, if you don't know what it is, it's supposed to, you're able to kind of move it along the neck. So it's useful in a studio where if you're recording like a delicate part, and you don't want to, and I just got this in today too, so you don't want to clamp it down too hard. It's mainly to kind of mute unwanted string noise. Yep, the darkness. Unwanted string noise, so you kind of can just let it hang here loose, and it just kind of hits the string, so you're not making any extra noise. But you have to be aware of, if you put it here on the first fret and you want to hit an F, obviously you can't do that. So it's more of a studio tool where you're overdubbing parts probably. Yeah, see, if I wanted to, something really cool would have been, and I can't play this right. I really can't play this right, but I'm going to try it. Let me put on the chorus. See if I remember how this goes. Yeah, see, it's. So I haven't played that in a while, but you can hear like extra noise when I'm hitting the string. So I don't know, and there's open strings on that, so I would think that would be a good candidate, but you wouldn't be able to hear the open strings, because if I brought that even onto the first fret, I wonder if I really put it loose. I hear a little bit of a difference, like over here. Road Camp asking, do I go stereo live? No, I don't. And my main reason for that is usually the PA system or front of house that you're playing through is mono. So it really, the only person really benefiting from that would be me. Like if I had a stereo setup on stage, I'd be hearing it in stereo. But once it goes out, unless it's a really, really good system, most sound guys, they want to mic you up or take your direct feed and just make sure people can hear you. That's all they care about. So no, I don't do stereo. Even all my effects here are all mono. I think they're all mono. I'm pretty sure they are. I want to make sure that I know yesterday when I was doing Facebook yesterday, the comments weren't working correctly, and I missed a bunch of them, and I had to go back. But these seem to be working. Let me turn off that chorus, and let me move this thing. Now I did get blue on the fret wrap to match that blue guitar back. It was the closest blue they had, but. Way too much distortion for that song. Do you guys hear? Let me ask you a question, you guys that are still here. So when I'm playing, I gotta get better headphones, because the guitar in these headphones don't sound anything like the guitar I hear when I play this in the room, or through my Headrush FR over there, through my studio monitors, even through my in-ears, because I'm hearing it's very harsh through here, but I'm also hearing. You hear that little like right as I stop playing. right? It's like a buzz that fades away. And I think it has to do with the fact that I'm so close. The Helix is right here on the floor, right here. The computer's right in front of me, and the Syn-1 is right here on the desk. I think everything's all so close together, especially to the computer, that it's causing a little bit of noise. But I'm hearing it in here. Thanks, man. Have an awesome day. Hopefully, I'll see you again on here. So right now, what I want to do, and this is something I always do, you guys that come on this channel, it's kind of a staple for me. I'm going to move this stuff over so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just moving blocks over. I want to put the looper in, and I'm going to put it down here. Save. I do this all the time, you guys that follow me. This is like, you do hear it, Pap? Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So we got the looper here. You guys that have been on here know that I love to play this. So let's give it a shot, see if I can get the timing right. I'm in an awkward position here. That's enough of that. I was just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't work when using that looper. The clean, I couldn't really hear it. When I was on the rhythm, there was too much gain on it. So let me try a different thing, and I don't even think I remember this. Let me just see what else we got going on the chat. Anything? Bobby, you hear the slight, buzzy hiss. All right, so I'm not going crazy. I hear it too. All right, let me try something here. We're gonna wrap this up soon because I'm getting hungry. Let's see if I can. Let me get the tempo. All right, so let me try this. Yeah, I'm not remembering it. I was hoping it would kind of come to me. Extra points for anybody that knows what that is. Message retracted. I don't know what that is. Somebody retracted a message. Perhaps do I keep my studio temperature control? Yes, I have. I have one of those smart Wi-Fi thermostats on the wall there. It was warm yesterday and I turned it down because I didn't want to get. This is really insulated in here. I went crazy when I put the installation. If you saw some of the videos of the build of this, so it's not really cold in here. It's just I think because yesterday was warm, I turned it down, and I can actually do it from my phone, and I forgot to turn it back up this morning, so it's colder out. It's kind of rainy today, and it's colder, so it just my hands are cold. Hey, Wanted, what's up? Those tones are great. Oh, thank you. That's actually, I do like the Helix amp models, but that is not the Helix. That is this guy right here. Hopefully you can see that. The Synergy with the Friedman modules in it. That's what I'm using. The Helix is just giving me my effects and controlling the channel switching on that, and I love it. It's perfect for what I need. That Synergy thing is the tone that I love, and I'm gonna try a few more of the modules out. It's small. The thing's like this big. It's a tabletop little thing. It's great. It's super portable, and it's easy to hook up and easy to dial in. What else we got there? Are you tuned down a half step sound? Thank you. Actually, this guitar is tuned down a full step. My band tunes down a full step. Mainly, it's not because our singer doing the Bon Jovi stuff. Our singer can sing in an E in the regular tuning, the album tunings. Bon Jovi live tunes down a half step. A lot of you guys probably already know that. I think recently they might even tune down to where we are. We tuned down to a full step only because we have, besides our singer, we have me, our other guitar player, our bass player, and our keyboard player all singing backups. So in order for all of us to be able to sing the parts that are needed, we had to tune down a little bit because none of us are professional singers. Sorry, just riffs pop into my head that I think I remember, and I just have to try them out. Don't mind me. What do we got? I need to take another drink. It's keeping me warm. Anything else, guys? Wanted. Yes, the Randall MTS. That's pretty much what this is. It's based on that. I guess the short story is that there's a big warehouse factory out in California somewhere that builds all the boutique stuff like Friedman, Bogner, 65 amps out there, Soldano. They're all in this big warehouse, and they all came together and decided to kind of put out this thing. I know Bruce Egnator is part of this. Peter at Synergy is the one who kind of handles this line, but they all kind of pitched in and came up with this, and each amp designer came up with they built the modules for them, or they gave the schematics to be built. So it's to me, I think it's really clever because they have their own lines that they're selling, but why not put this out for guys that don't want to spend, you know, $4 grand on an amp. I think this Syn-1 here, just the housing itself, it cost me $400 used, shipped, and I think they were only $499 anyway. And then each of these modules, I believe, are $399, and if you know, you can get them used too. But so basically, I paid 4 and 4 for $800. Let me get back here. For $800, I kind of have a Friedman BE100 without spending another, what are they, 35.99, 36.99 at Sweetwater now, or you can get a used one on the 3. But still, I'm saving a big amount of money. And again, going, you know, through in-ears, I don't need a 100-watt amp behind me, you know, blasting behind me. I can get a similar tone out of this for a lot less money. Super portable. If we do gigs where it's a quick get up on stage, plug in, and quick line check and everything, I can do it. I can do it with that. But yeah, so it's pretty much like the Randall MTS units. You can still find those kicking around. I see them on they're on Reverb, and on the Synergy Randall forums, guys are still selling those things. Actually, on the Synergy, there's a Synergy Randall MTS Facebook group that I'm a part of, that I see them guys selling those things all the time. Yeah, Bobby, the Syn-1, this thing sounds great. It sounds exactly like I said. I had the Syn-50 head first, then I had the Syn-2, and I don't hear, there's no difference in sound just from one being bigger than the other. It still sounds the same because you're going, it's the same, pretty much the same setup that you're putting these modules into. Yeah, there's that buzz I can hear. I see another question there. So you just go direct, no on-stage cabs. Yeah, pretty much for the most part, 90 to 95% of our shows, well, you know, until we all had to stop playing, was in-ears. We have 6 guys in the band, all on in-ears. We run everything. So the camera, this right here, this is my iPad that's showing you this Synergy. So, and it's on, I have a, what do you call it, a holder, basically, that clamps onto the iPad, and it clamps onto a mic stand, and I'll have that right in front of me. Like, I'll have my pedal board at my feet, my mic stand with the 2 mics, you know, one for the talk box, one for my vocal, and then I have my iPad right in front of me, so I control everything that's going into my ears. It doesn't bother anybody else. They all have their own. Everybody either has an iPhone or an Android phone or an iPad or a little laptop somewhere that they can just change what you need to hear in your ears. If you need something more, and I always have everything kind of spread out. If I'm looking out at the stage, I'm on the right of the stage, so I like to have, well, the drums mainly, it's almost like I'm sitting in the drum, so I have it mixed in my ears where I hear the snare and the kick drum kind of center, and then I have the hi-hats on my left, and as you go across, I got overheads go all the way around, and then the toms, depending on how many the drummer has, I have them kind of pan through my ear. So when I'm hearing the rolls, I'm hearing it go across. My guitar is always right down the middle. Other guitar players on the other side of the stage, so I have him in the left ear. Keyboard plays behind me, so he's kind of in the middle too. Lead vocals in the middle, my vocals in the middle, and then the other guys, their vocals, I'll have kind of panned as pretty much where they are on stage. So it's almost like I'm playing with no in-ears on the stage, and where I'm hearing everybody on stage, I can put that in my ears and not get my eardrums blown out, if that makes sense. And I've said this many times, it's kind of a love-hate relationship with the in-ears for me. I absolutely love it, and it's needed for vocals, especially the kind of vocals we're doing. But I usually don't like the way guitar sounds through the in-ears. Never have. I probably never will. It's just that old thing. My whole saying is, think of it this way. You got your 100-watt amp, right? And I compare it in-ears like this. So all my guitar tone is going into, I wish I had my in-ears over here to show you. I have custom in-ears. I think they're packed away, but so all my guitar tone, or whatever guitar I play through other friends' rigs with my in-ears, and same thing. It's not just my rig. You're going, all that sound is coming through these little drivers that are pressed against your eardrums. So imagine that. Now, to me, it's almost like I would take my head and put it against one of my Celestion speakers in my 412 cabinet. You know, not turn it up loud, but it probably, I'm guessing it doesn't sound too good because your ear is right up against the speaker cone. So it's going to sound like a can of bees. And that's what I equate to why I don't like the sound. I like the sound of a guitar, and probably many of you do too, of a guitar behind me, kind of set back a little so you get that air kind of flowing, and the sound disperses out. It's very difficult to get that directly in your ear. I've EQ'd it to the point, like I said, I have my iPad. I can EQ everything that's going into my ears too. So I've EQ'd it to the point where I think it's decent. I play better even right now, having just these headphones on that sound terrible, by the way. I would be playing better, I think, and I do this live. If I had no in-ears and no headphones on, and I was playing, you know, I could hear the amp out in the room, I play better. I sing better with the in-ears in. I don't sing as well without them. So it's kind of a, you know, give and take it with that kind of thing. I probably sound like a broken record, but that's just the way I feel. I've always felt that way. You know, if I wasn't singing as much as I do, I might not use in-ears. But you know, if the band's using tracks or a click track or anything, you have to, because otherwise you're just going to get lost. I just love playing that stuff. I'm probably playing all this Van Halen stuff wrong, but man, I just love playing it. All right, what do we got? We had a few people drop off. We're getting up to, we're over an hour since I started this. So what do you say we wrap this up? It's about 12:20 here. I'm hungry, and I probably should go get lunch, check on my kids who are doing their school in the house. So if anybody else has any more questions or anything, comments, now's the time to do it. I hope to be back on here very soon. Again, probably around 2 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time. Video. If you have a Helix and you want to know, for some reason, want to know how to change the colors, where is it? You want to know how to change the colors on these. You can't really tell right now because the light isn't good, but if you want to know how to change those colors, if you don't know how to, I mean, most people that have the Helix know how to do it. A video is going up around 2 o'clock today. Do I have any kind of idea of the level of volume, and if in-ears are better or worse for long run hearing loss? Yeah, that's another reason that I'm using in-ear. And I started using in-ears, you know, well before the band was all on in-ears. On and off over the years, I'd use them, then I'd not use them, use them, not use them. But it definitely helps to stop hearing loss. Put it this way, I can get my mix in my ears on when everything's perfect. I can get it to almost sound like I'm listening to a CD or a song on my phone. That's how clear everything can be if you do it right. So, and you can have, with your pack, I always have my pack attached to me with the volume on it. I mean, you could play, and I usually turn it up anyway because I kind of have to feel, the music. But I know some guys that turn it really low where it's, it's just barely in their ears, but that's all they need to hear. Uh, Thanks, Rocamp. See you later, Bobby. Thank you guys for coming by again. But yeah, so in-ears definitely. We're getting older. I know I'm getting older, and you could tell by the. But my hearing's okay after all these years. It's not the best, but it's not as bad as some others that I've seen. I'll get the ringing every now and then, but in-ears I think has been helping me prolong having decent hearing. So with that said, I'm going to say my goodbyes right now, and I will be back on. I don't know. I don't have a set schedule for this stuff. Have a great day to you too, Pap. Glad I could help, and as always, thanks for coming in. But so I want to say, anybody watching that was watching or will watch this in the future, because it will be up on my channel. If you enjoyed it, if you like seeing me play riffs the wrong way and playing out of tune guitars and whatever, or if you just like the way I set up everything, please subscribe and also hit that bell, because if you don't hit the bell, you won't know until, like, if I'm doing one of these live streams, you won't know until later on that I'm actually doing a live stream. You got to hit that bell so you can get here while it's happening, and then you get alerted too when there's new videos going up, regular videos. But as I've been saying lately, stay safe. Let me just do something here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. And hopefully everybody's doing all that and everybody's cool. And I will see you next time. Bye.